All right, guys, welcome back. Hope all is well, and thank you for joining me today. This is going to be part three of finding your medium. And today, I want to do is I want to talk uh, about the anatomy of when you're drawing, when you're doing structures, when anything that has to do with like even point of reference. Okay, don't ever be scared to use things as a point of reference. Um, I know a lot of people like to say, hey, listen, I could draw from my mind. Hey, you know what? It's good to draw from your mind. And you know what? Having a reference and checking back up on it every now and then doesn't hurt neither. And a lot of top artists, J. Scott Campbell, Jim Lee, um, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Dali, Galileo, all these great artists use references at one point in their career, in their lives. Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, that's just to name a few, uh, Mark Beagle. So I want to talk about the anatomy, and you don't have to go to college to do anatomy, that's a whole structure and all on its own. You could spend your whole life researching anatomy. And still to this day, Leonardo da Vinci's anatomy and charts and everything are still used today. A lot of NASA uses it for their satellites, and it's just he was insane. When it came to anatomy, and that fun fact, he actually. Worked on dead corpses. He was in the army, military, and he would dissect, the dead corpses of humans. And that's why he was so good at doing his anatomy and finding structures and everything else. Get back to what I was saying about just get to the point, right? That's what I want to talk about. Just get to the point. The point is finding your medium, right? As long as you understand how the human body works, as long as you understand how the structures, how the muscles, unless you want to be a cartoonist, and the cartoonist can make the hands big, can make the feet small or big or floppy or whatever have you. But the more you understand how the structures and the anatomy and the muscles and the different nerves and the bones and everything works, it's just a lot easier to understand how to draw certain things. I personally am a big fan about researching. I love reading. I love researching. But to be able, what I was saying about finding your medium, this is, when you start off, you don't have to do something incredibly good. You don't have to do something that's going to be like, oh my God, that's so great. Again, art is a form of expression. Everybody is going to have their own different taste. Everybody's going to have their own different way of expressing things. But I'm gonna go over a few things that I think are very important. To be very diverse. You don't have to just stay in one genre. You know what I'm saying? You could, like if you're in a Japanese anime, or if you're into American culture and a lot of the Western art, like I am. You just play around with a lot of the stuff. You don't have to just stay in one place at one time, and that's what makes a really well-rounded individual, to be able to do anything. And to be a freelancer, you kind of have to, Especially this is the coat of arms from Costa Rica. I did that when I was actually in college. This was another thing that I did. This was also another thing I did. It's kind of old. This was also done in college. Again, these are just things that you could do, and I always tell people you got to start somewhere, right? So the thing I like to talk about is don't be afraid. Don't ever be afraid to test the waters, And just because if I see something that may not work for me, maybe it'll work for you, right? So a lot of times when I design a character, these are just like rough drafts of my character. And this was like a while ago, man. I don't know, what is it, like 10 years ago or whatever? But like, you go over and you just whatever you feel comfortable drawing, or whatever you think is going to be good. You do a lot of rough drafts. You like to go around and play around with, you know, a lot of artists that I appreciate. What they'll do is they'll do rough sketches, a lot of the characters, and then they'll come up with this concept. They might come up with that concept, and it may not always be right. But you know, at the end of the day, it's how they feel. Unless they're working for a company, and then you bring it to the board, and they're like, "Hey, you know, this is crap. You're gonna have to redraw it, and you got a deadline, and you got to do all that other good stuff." And that's another reason why I'm a freelancer, because you might have a deadline, depending on what you promised your customer, but you're working for yourself. You know, you're your own person. You're your own, you know, you're your own boss, I should say. And you know, a lot of times I like to draw real life sculptures. You know, like a little handbag. You use your hand, you use your feet, you can use your mirror in your bathroom. You can use one of your cousin's Nintendo controllers and whatnot. But you know, the most important is, don't ever be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, because you know, if you just stay still, you know, the world's going to pass you by. And what I mean by that is, don't ever be afraid to draw. Don't ever be afraid to dabble in other stuff that you've never dabbled in before. Because I'll tell you what, it takes practice, and you know what? It's better to do it now than later. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens if you you know, you really want to explore that art and you're too afraid to, you know? And before you know it, all that time went by, and you got to start sometime, right? Why not start now? So again, this is just me breaking down a lot of stuff, finding your medium. You know, don't ever be afraid to reach out from your comfort zone. And that's all I have to say about this video, and I hope everybody has a good day. And the next couple videos, we're going to be drawing, and then we're going to go back to tutorials, and then we're going to do some airbrushing. So everything's, you know, we're going to slowly but surely get into the airbrushing, and that's the main goal of the channel. But thank you, and hope everybody has a good day.